It's not the traffic, it's not the inbox, it's not them, it's you, and what you've been trained to believe peace should feel like. You think peace is silence, stillness, a perfect schedule, a clean room. But that's not peace, that's control. And when life stops obeying your structure, your calm disappears with it. Because deep down, you didn't build peace. You built a fragile illusion of it that only works when everything else behaves. But the Stoics knew better. Peace isn't passive. It's practiced. It's not what happens when life calms down. It's what stays when life gets loud. So ask yourself, why is it so easy to lose your cool over things that don't even matter 24 hours later? And more importantly, what if it's not your circumstances that need to change, but your habits? Stay with me, because in this video, we'll uncover 12 hidden habits that are quietly destroying your inner peace, and how to take it back, one clear, grounded, stoic step at a time. This isn't just a video about staying calm, it's a mirror for the tiny, invisible habits that slowly steal your clarity and replace it with constant reactivity. Because losing your peace doesn't start with something big. It starts with overthinking that text, scrolling through bad news before bed, rushing into conversations you didn't want to have, and before you know it, you're always on edge, always tense. Always one comment away from snapping. But here's the truth. Peace isn't found, it's built, brick by brick, thought by thought, choice by choice. So today, I'll walk you through 12 everyday habits that most people don't realize are destroying their inner peace. And for each one, you'll learn a simple stoic mindset shift to reclaim your power without running away from life. And if you stay till the end, I'll share the one habit that's helped thousands of people build calm, even in absolute chaos. Let's begin. Not long ago, Ethan thought he was doing everything right. He had a routine, he meditated, he read all the books. He even had a quote from Marcus Aurelius tattooed on his forearm. But still, the smallest thing could throw him off. One delay, he snapped. One disagreement, he shut down. One unexpected bill, he spiraled hard. And at first, he thought he needed more discipline, more mindset hacks, more morning routines, but eventually he realized he wasn't losing his peace because of chaos, he was losing it because of how he responded to it automatically. He had trained his mind to react, not to reflect, to tighten, not to breathe, to control, not to lead. What Ethan needed wasn't more control over his environment. It was a different relationship with his own thoughts, one grounded in clarity, in separation, in the kind of power that doesn't shout, but stays, just like Ethan. You don't need a personality transplant. You just need to notice the habits that are building your stress and gently rebuild the ones that will restore your peace. Habit number 1. You wake up into chaos, the alarm goes off. You reach for your phone, and within seconds, you're inside the noise, news, notifications, messages, a flood of other people's energy before you've even met your own, and just like that, you've lost your center before the day even began. This might feel normal, but it's not neutral, because when your brain starts in reaction mode, it stays there all day long. And the worst part, you didn't choose your mindset, you inherited it from your feed. But the Stoics knew, when you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Marcus Aurelius. That's not just poetic, it's strategy. Here's your shift. Stop letting the world in before you let yourself in. Try this. For the first 10 minutes after waking, no phone, no screen. Just breathe. Feel your body. Notice your thoughts. Ask, What do I want to bring into this world before it brings anything into me? Because peace doesn't start in silence, it starts in choice. You don't need a perfect morning, you just need a deliberate one. Habit 32, you talk too much. To yourself, it's not the noise around you that makes you anxious, it's the noise inside you, the endless commentary. Why did I say that? What if they think I'm weak? What if I fail again? And you don't just think these things. You believe them, you replay them, you argue with them, until your mind isn't a space for clarity. It's a battlefield of imaginary conversations. But here's what the Stoics understood. The voice in your head isn't the problem. It's your attachment to it. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Seneca, you don't have to believe every thought. You don't have to fight every doubt. You don't have to solve every feeling. You just have to learn, to observe. Here's your shift. Stop over-identifying with every passing narrative. Start separating thought from truth. Try this. Next time your mind spirals, don't analyze, don't argue, just name it. This is a story. This is fear. This is doubt, not direction. Then breathe. Let it pass, like a cloud. Like a song you don't like on the radio, because your peace doesn't come from fixing every thought. It comes from knowing. Not every thought deserves a response. Some just need to be released. Habit 3, you over-personalize everything. They didn't reply. You think you did something wrong. They look distracted. You assume they're annoyed with you. They cancel plans. You feel rejected, even if it had nothing to do with you, because deep down, you've trained yourself to believe that everything means something about you. And when that belief runs your day, peace isn't possible. You're always on alert, always over-analyzing, always taking things to heart that weren't even aimed at you. But the Stoics practice something different, emotional objectivity. Don't assume that what someone says or does is a personal attack. Most people are just dealing with their own storm. Marcus Aurelius, paraphrased. Here's your shift. Stop placing yourself at the center of everyone's behavior. Start recognizing that most things aren't personal, they're patterns. Try this. Next time you feel hurt by someone's action, pause, ask, what else could this mean that has nothing to do with me? Then give them grace and give yourself relief, because every time you take something personally that wasn't meant that way, you give away your power to a story that was never yours. What people do is a reflection of their state, not your worth. Habit number 4. You expect calm from a chaotic world. You want silence, but you live in noise. You want clarity, but you check your phone 70 times a day. You want peace, but you keep waiting for the world to give it to you. And here's the trap. You've made your calm conditional. If they stop judging me, I'll relax. If the job settles down, I'll feel better. If I get a break, then I'll breathe. But the Stoics flip that logic. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. In other words, calm is an inside job. It's not given, it's built. Not when life gets easier, but when your response gets stronger. Here's your shift. Stop waiting for quiet. Start cultivating stillness in motion. Try this. Pick one chaotic moment each day, a meeting, a messy kitchen, a traffic jam, and instead of resisting it, anchor into yourself. Breathe deeply. Drop your shoulders. Say to yourself, I am not this noise. I am the space that holds it. Because peace isn't the absence of pressure, it's the presence of poise under pressure. Don't outsource your calm, own it. Habit number 5. You avoid sitting with discomfort. You feel the tension rising. So you reach for distraction. Phone, food, scrolling, noise, anything to not feel what's happening inside, because discomfort feels dangerous. It feels like something to escape, not something to experience. But here's the cost. Every time you run from discomfort, you reinforce the belief that you're not strong enough to hold it. And slowly, your tolerance shrinks, your triggers multiply. Your peace depends more and more on avoidance, not resilience. The Stoics taught something different. Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish for them to happen as they do, and your life will flow smoothly. Epictetus. They weren't telling us to love pain, they were telling us to stop fearing it. Here's your shift. Stop escaping every uncomfortable feeling. Start building capacity to sit with it without judgment. Try this. Next time anxiety rises, don't distract. Don't analyze, just pause. Feel where it lives in your body. Breathe into that space. Say to yourself, this is discomfort, not danger. Because the more often you stay with it, the less control it has over you. And peace isn't the absence of discomfort. It's the muscle you build by staying present through it. You don't have to escape it, you just have to endure it until it passes. Habit number 6, you chase control instead of clarity. You double check, then triple check. You plan the schedule down to the hour. You script conversations before they happen. You try to predict every possible outcome, because deep down, you believe that control shaki safety. But here's the paradox. The more you chase control, the less peace you actually feel, because life doesn't follow scripts. People don't act how you expect, and control was never really yours to begin with. What you get instead? Constant anxiety, frustration, tightness in your chest. Every time reality deviates from your blueprint. The Stoics knew this was a losing game. Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. Epictetus. Control is an illusion. Clarity is the truth. Here's your shift. Stop chasing control. Start practicing inner clarity. So no matter what changes outside, you stay grounded inside. Try this. Each time you feel the urge to fix, plan, or micromanage something, pause. Ask, is this something I can influence or something I must release? Then act accordingly. Because peace doesn't come from bending life into your shape. It comes from becoming someone who can move with it. Control creates tension. Clarity creates freedom. Habit number 7. You multitask peace into extinction. You're listening to a podcast. While replying to a message, while walking through a crowded street, while thinking about your next meeting, you call it productive. But inside, you feel fragmented. Your body is in motion, your brain is split in 3, and your peace, it's buried beneath the noise. Because the truth is, multitasking isn't mastery, it's micro-anxiety, on repeat. The Stoics didn't juggle 10 things, they focused on one, fully. If you seek tranquility, do less, or do what's essential, and do it with full attention. Marcus Aurelius. Here's your shift. Stop glorifying divided attention. Start reclaiming full presence. Try this. Pick one daily activity, showering, eating, walking, even folding laundry, and do it in total awareness. No distractions, no phone. Just you in the moment. Feel the texture. Notice the breath. Let the silence return, because multitasking might impress the world, but presence heals you. Every time you do 2 things, you lose yourself in both. Slow down, come back. Habit. Freight. You never pause to celebrate stability. You only notice life when it's falling apart. When you're sick, you miss your health. When they leave, you miss connection. When the chaos hits, you crave the calm you ignored because somewhere along the way, you started believing that nothing's wrong isn't worth celebrating. You wait for the high, the breakthrough, the major milestone. But what about the normal days? What about the moments when your heart is steady, the air is quiet, and the coffee is still warm? The Stoics knew you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Marcus Aurelius. That's not fear, that's clarity. Here's your shift. Stop reserving gratitude for dramatic moments. Start noticing stability and honoring it. Try this. Once a day, say out loud, nothing's broken right now, and that is enough. Breathe into it, let it land, because peace isn't made only in recovery, it's made in the present, when you finally stop ignoring the life that's already working. Stability isn't boring, it's sacred. Pause for it. Habit number 9. You react to every invitation someone criticizes you. You defend, someone challenges you. You argue, someone posts something you disagree with. You respond instantly, because deep down, you've mistaken reactivity for power. You think silence means weakness, that not responding means losing, that every poke deserves a punchback. But the Stoics, they knew how to hold their power by holding their peace. If you are easily provoked, you are easily controlled. A Stoic paraphrase: here's the truth, every reaction you give away costs you clarity. Not every message needs a reply. Not every insult deserves your energy. Not every battle is yours to fight. Here's your shift. Stop treating every disruption as a demand. Start seeing most triggers as invitations you don't have to accept. Try this. Next time something pulls at you, pause. Ask, does this deserve my energy or just my awareness? Then let it pass, without drama, without explanation, because power isn't proven in confrontation, it's protected in discernment. Not every fight is worth winning. Some are just worth ignoring. Habit number 10. You don't set internal boundaries. You think boundaries are just about other people. Who to block, what to say no to, how to push things away. But here's what's missing. The boundaries you fail to set with yourself are the ones that drain you most. You check your phone before your mind is ready. You work past the point of depletion. You say yes when your gut says please stop. Not because others forced you, but because you didn't protect you. The Stoics knew that mastery isn't about controlling others. It's about governing your own choices. No man is free who is not master of himself. Epictetus. Here's your shift. Stop outsourcing boundaries to external friction. Start creating internal ones that honor your energy, time, and peace. Try this. Pick one rule for yourself this week, something simple, something sacred. No phone the first 15 minutes after waking. No yes without a full body yes. No scrolling past 10 p.m., then hold it, not for perfection, but for integrity. Because every time you honor an internal boundary, you rebuild trust with the only person you'll never live without. Boundaries aren't walls, they're self-respect in practice. Habit number 11. You confuse stillness with stuckness. You have a quiet week. No crisis, no new achievement, no urgent goals, and something inside you whispers, I'm falling behind. Because you've been conditioned to believe that motion shows value, that noise shows purpose, that progress must always be visible, loud, fast. But here's the truth. Not everything that grows makes a sound. The Stoics didn't chase constant motion. They practiced intentional pause. Be like the rock that the waves keep crashing over. It stands unmoved, and the raging of the sea falls still around it. Marcus Aurelius. Here's your shift. Stop shaming stillness. Start honoring it as part of your rhythm, not a threat to it. Try this. Next time life feels slow, instead of forcing momentum, ask, what is this quiet season making space for? Then listen. Because sometimes peace is not the absence of goals, it's the preparation for something deeper. Stillness isn't stuckness, it's strength that doesn't need to prove itself. Habit, thus see 12. You think peace comes from escape, you say. If I could just get away, if I had more time alone, if life would just slow down. But here's the quiet trap. You've built a version of peace that only exists in absence. Absence of people, absence of problems, absence of pressure. And so, you keep running, from jobs, from relationships, from schedules, always hoping the next place, the next silence, the next break will finally bring relief. But the Stoics knew, no matter where you go, you always take yourself with you. Seneca, paraphrased. Peace isn't found in isolation, it's built in confrontation with your own patterns. Here's your shift. Stop chasing escape, like it's the only route to stillness. Start cultivating a peace that can stand, even in noise. Try this. Instead of waiting for the perfect weekend, the vacation, the empty room, practice this line when chaos hits. I can be still, even here. Not because it's easy, but because your strength no longer depends on quiet surroundings. It comes from quiet decisions. Peace isn't where you go, it's who you are when you decide to stay. Peace isn't a place you find, it's a person you become. You don't build inner peace by fixing your life. You build it by noticing the small habits that unfix your mind. Habits that look normal, but feel heavy, that seem harmless, but cost you your clarity, and every time you break one, you return, not to perfection, but to presence, to power, to poise, in motion. Because peace doesn't arrive in silence. It arrives in self-mastery. So ask yourself, which habit are you ready to unlearn? So your calm stops depending on everyone and everything else. Drop it in the comments. Let it be your first act of reclaiming your inner ground. Thank you for being here, not just to understand, but to remember that stillness was never lost. It was always inside you, waiting to be practiced. Until next time.